Hello there everybody, Sam Strains here, welcome back to the railway. I've got a little bit of the turntable excitement back now because as you can see my replacement has arrived. Now I will just say very quickly before I get started, just in case some of you didn't see the update I posted on the last video. Basically I put that video up last week and Hattons saw it and they got in contact with me and they basically said you know, they'd made a mistake and they didn't mean to say that they wouldn't send a replacement and that yes of course they would replace it for me. So yeah, make of that what you will. I suppose the point is that Hattons did the right thing in the end and I'm really grateful to them for doing that. And I'm also really grateful to all of you guys who got in there and supported me and sent messages and did whatever. I don't know whether it was that caused them to change their minds, but that's besides the point. You guys stood up and helped me, so I do really appreciate that. Anyway, the chap at Hattons said he's tested this one, which is great because we know there's nothing wrong with it. But of course I am going to get this out and test it before I do anything to it on the layout because I have learnt my lesson on that. And as long as it is fine, I'm going to get it set up and hopefully we can get some trains onto it this time. So yeah, I know I unboxed it last time and a lot of you saw me do that, so I'm going to be quick this time. I'm not going to mess around with it. But it's very important that you do this. I think that's the one thing it illustrates. It's very important that you do unbox things on camera. Even if you're not going to put them on YouTube, it's worth doing that just so that you've got proof that you haven't messed with it. And, you know, so I'm going to film the whole process this time. I'm going to make sure that everything is as it should be. Now, yeah, I can see that these contacts, once again, look. Let me show you a close-up. I'm not going to touch them. That's the important thing. I'm not going to touch them. Let me try and zoom in. I'm doing this live so that there aren't any cuts. You can see that this contact here is a lot further forward than that one. I don't know whether it's supposed to be like that or not, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm literally going to set it up straight away and we will see how it runs. But it's worth noting that, isn't it? I think, let me just focus that again. There we are. Yeah, it's worth noting that I did actually buy a rotary switch, thanks to Barry Davis. And he showed me how to wire up the different tracks independently. Of course I'm not going to start doing that now because I'm hoping it's going to work okay from the start. But if I do have problems with it, you know, a year down the line, I have this rotary switch so that I can wire that up. But I'm not doing that right now. I'm going to hope that it will run itself okay. So there's the turntable. Yeah, we have all of the stuff that came with it, oops, beforehand. It's not a good start, everything's dropped out. But yeah, everything seems to be in order there. You've got the little hut and everything like that, and the instructions. Yeah, I'm just going to get this hooked up then. I'll put a little cut in here just while I get some power to this, and then we'll see that it works okay. Oh, and what I will do is as well, I'm going to put these tracks, let me get some scissors, hang on, I'm going to put these tracks onto it. As I was saying, I'm going to put some of these on because the problem before was the track was catching on these, so it doesn't really matter where I put them on at this stage. Okay, it took a bit of pushing, but I've got it on, and I probably won't be taking that one off either, because yes, I don't really fancy trying to unclip those. But that's 3, so I reckon that should be okay to test it. So I'm just going to cut again while I get some crocodile clips hooked up to a power supply. I'm not going to run this on 12 volts, by the way. Cliff recommended that I use a controller, because obviously 12 volts is quite a lot of energy going into this, and if something does jam up, it's going to break things, isn't it? It's going to burn the motor out or break a gear. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to keep it on a controller so that I can turn it off quickly, and so that I can run it on low voltage. So let me grab my crocodile leads. Oh, that took a while. Sorry, I've had to try and find my nice long ones, because these short ones, well that one's not too short actually, but it wasn't long enough to get from the power supply. Anyway, we've got them now, so let me just plug these on. Obviously I'm not going to cut these wires off or anything yet. I'm going to make sure that everything's okay. And yeah, we'll give it a quick spin, no pun intended, and see if it's okay. There you go, that's gone under the first track okay, and I think that was the side that I was worried was at an angle, so, oh no, that one is, but no, that was okay. Okay, let's go again. Oh, I didn't really want to go that way, did I? Oh well, let's go the other way. Yeah, that side seems to be okay anyway. In fact, it doesn't sound quite as unhealthy as the other one did either. Ah, you see, you've got that noise again. I don't like that. Did you hear it? It sort of went bang, bang, as those went under it. I don't know. Okay, let's try it again. You hear that? It's not good, is it? But I'm not going to fiddle with it. Try that one. Yeah. No noise on that one, so I wonder if it's just, maybe I've put this on wrong. I can't see that. See, that one's looser. See how loose that one is? You can hear it moving. I think that might be better than it being rigid like this one is. But that one hasn't got any give on it. But again, I'm not messing around with it for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Let's try it again. Let's keep it going round. As I say, I'm keeping it on low power. I always get the direction wrong. But as you can see, that's okay. Keeping it on quite low power just in case it does jam. Hope it doesn't, obviously. Oh God, that didn't sound too good. Yeah, definitely catching, isn't it? But I suppose I'm just going to leave it and, well, we'll see what happens. One person did recommend putting a little bit of Vaseline on these contacts, which doesn't sound like a bad plan, to be honest, because that's not going to damage anything, surely. So I might try that, but yeah, let's see what happens then. I'll try and get it set up with some engines and such, and we'll see how it goes. Alright then, you can see it in there looking good, and I haven't, well, I'll show you what I've done. I haven't wired it in properly like I did last time, so you can see the wire is just going along there. What I did last time was I hot glued the wire around the, what would you call it, the base of this storage unit, and then I soldered I snipped the ends off the cables and soldered them here. And when I took the turntable back out again, it was a bit awkward because I had to yank all the hot glue out from under here and the cable broke and all that sort of thing. So I'm not going to do that this time until I'm absolutely sure it's okay. But as you can see, I left the old cables there, and this time I've just hooked them up with a couple of crocodile clips just to test it. Now I've still got to put the you know, the little bits of I need to put my straights on it basically. With the buffer stops on the end so that you can use it as a turntable. And actually, just as a bit of suspense before I test it, I'll show you the buffer stops I made. Now don't laugh, because, oh, hang on, they're not great, but let me see here, let me turn this down. They're not fantastic, but they will do the job, and all I'm going to do is hot glue those onto the ends of some straights. And I just made those out of matchsticks. There's the matchsticks, and they're just the same size as the Hornby ones. The same height and everything, as you can see. So yeah, that was I made those last week before the first turntable came, and they've been sat there ever since. So hopefully they're going to see some use. But for now, I'm going to pop this camera onto the tripod, and I'll head over to the controller. Excuse me, hang on. I'm going to put this onto the controller and see how it goes now that I've selected those 6 tracks and put them on. So yeah, it's hooked up to the spare output of my HM2000 controller, which should give a nice smooth output. So yeah, let's see what happens, shall we? I'll run the whole thing all the way around, and we'll see how that goes. That's at about 3/4 speed. It's not very quick actually, is it? Quite a big crunch there. Very big crunch that time. But there you go, it got all the way around. I really don't like that crunching, but maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. The thing is, I could do that hard wiring technique, but I don't really want to do that straight away. Obviously if I did it, Hattons wouldn't be responsible for anything that went wrong. But yeah, I want to test it first, but I don't want to split the gears, that's obvious. What I did do is I put a drop of oil onto these contacts, and obviously, yeah, that's not going to be great for connection or whatever, but I would rather that than you know, lose it again and you know, break a gear. So I'll keep it going. Let's maybe I'll try it going the other way. If the crunching is not so bad the other way, I might just keep it going that direction and, you know, turn it all the way around. But we'll see. Let's see. Right, so let's change direction. Yeah, I think it. I don't know, you guys will have to let me know about that. I think it sounded happier in that direction. But yeah, anyway, it seems acceptable, doesn't it? It's working. How long it's going to work, I don't know, because that crunching doesn't sound good. But for now, what I'll do is I'm not going to fiddle with it. That's the first and foremost thing. But what I'll do is I'll put some of those long straights on it. I won't glue the buffer stops on just yet. But I'll just get a little loco, a Ginty or something, and we'll get it tested, see if it'll take a loco. Alright, I'll do that. Okay, so it looks a bit like an octopus or something now. What might be, well, a bit of an afterthought is I might put some supports in just underneath these track bits just to stop them flexing. But at the moment I think it'll be okay with a Ginty at least. So okay, hang on, here we go. So as you can see, there's a Ginty. I hope she's in shot there. Yep, she is. Okay, so let's turn the turntable then. Now, shall I do it the other way? Yeah, I'll do it the other way. Okay, yeah, not nice crunching, but it seems okay. Alright, let's get her on there. Okay. Now, if I give her a push and she goes flying off the other end. Oh, not enough power. Hang on. I don't know what's caused that. Oh. Okay, alright, hold it, hold it. Okay, there we go. She didn't derail, did she? No, she's okay. Okay, right, let's turn the turntable then. Alright, and let's get her to go off the other end. Well, yeah, backwards is okay. Yeah, that seems to work. Let's go across. Yeah, well, to be honest, to say I've put that blob of oil on, it doesn't seem to have buggered the connection, does it? Okay, and back off again. In fact, we'll go right the way around, shall we, and take her off forwards. Speed it up a little bit, because I don't want it to struggle. God. Right, it's jammed up entirely. It was on just about full power. So I suppose I'll send it in the opposite direction. No. Right, that's interesting. I don't know what's going on there then. Okay, I managed to get it to move with a bit of force from the controller. Oof. What can be wrong there? That's ridiculous. Why can't it get beyond there? That's not good, is it? Oh, that's not good. That's going to do the motor immediately. Oof. It seems to go a little way and then seize up completely. I don't know whether that's just because the loco's not in the middle. I shouldn't have thought that would be an issue. We'll soon see. Alright, let's give it some more juice. Oh, there we are. Okay, so it seems like it really needs that 12 volts because for some reason when the track goes past the cab, the shed, whatever you want to call it, it slows right down, and unless you're at 12 volts it just sort of stalls the motor, and I don't like the sound of it when it does that, let's be honest. So anyway, yeah, I'll keep going, see if she can get round. direction she'll be going in. Yep. Right. Okay, so the crunching is still there, but the crunching isn't too bad. It seems that it's just you know, a part of it. Personally, I don't like the sound of it, but I'm not going to fiddle. The real problem then is, why does it stall when it goes past the hut? Well, I'm going to do it again. I'll send it off, I suppose. Send it turning, and without the loco, and we'll see if it does it then. So, okay, let's try it again. Maybe it needs lubricating, I don't know, but I don't know how to go about lubricating it. Nope. Cut out completely. Well, it didn't cut out, I can hear it whirring. Right, is there anything jammed then? I don't think there's anything jammed up on the turntable. Yes, I don't know. It's an odd one. I'll try it again, see if it goes, and then we'll try it in the other direction, I suppose. See that actually fixed it immediately. It went normally then. Right, I'm going to reverse back and we'll do that bit again. Nope, not good. It's definitely not happy, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, right, I don't know then. It's a bit confusing, that is. I don't know why it's doing that. Because you can switch it off and switch it back on again, and 1 minute it'll be struggling just the same, and then you switch it off and switch it back on again, and it runs just as it should. So yeah, you'll have to leave it with me. I'm not going to fiddle with it, but I might just try and put some oil on the big gear or something like that. I don't know. But obviously I can't do anything major for obvious reasons. So yeah, alright, I'll come back to this and we'll see how it gets on. Right, so basically it did jam up. It hasn't broken any of the gears, very luckily, but I decided that these contacts were not the way to go. These were jamming it up, and it was causing just the same problem as before. So first of all, obviously, now that I've done this, Hatton's has no more part in this. I've chosen to modify it, that was my choice. If I'd have wanted to return it, I'm sure they would have let me, but I decided, if they're all like it, why bother returning it? I do want a turntable, so I'll try and fix it. So what I've done is, I managed to get this little top off and got all the gears out. There was this horrible red sticky stuff. Presumably it used to be lubricant, but it had gone very sticky, and it really was clogging things up. So I've actually given it a service. I've cleaned all the red stuff off the gears and given them some oil. And now listen to this. Look how much smoother that is. It's got a bit of a and I can't find why it's doing that, but no teeth are missing off the gears, so that's the good thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to hardwire them in. I've got the rotary switch somewhere, because I showed it at the start of the video, didn't I? So yeah, it should be good to go. I'm going to hardwire all of the different rails in, and it basically eradicates the need for these horrid things. Yeah, they were just clogging it up. They were really jamming it up, and I just thought, if I keep using them, the turntable is going to be no good, and by the time I decide to do the rotary switch conversion, it's going to be too late, and you know, the gears are going to break, and I'm going to have to, you know, I'm going to be in the same mess as I was before. So yeah, no longer Hatton's problem. That's a disclaimer. If anything goes wrong, it's my responsibility, and it's, you know, it's my fault, and it'll have to go in the bin. But I'm going to try not to let that happen. So yes, I'll come back to you in a bit when I've done the conversion. It's not ideal because I'm on the carpet, so I'm going to have to try and hardwire them in straight onto the turntable. So not ideal, but I'm confident, well, I don't want to say I'm confident I can do it, but if the video ends mysteriously here, you'll know that I gave in. Okay. Right, I'm going to give that a try. I like that idea. Okay. Okay, ooh, that was a long job. Very enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but a very long job. Okay, well, it's not finished. I've still got to tidy the wires up and I've still got to glue the old buffer stops on and whatnot, but it is functional. So I thought I would take a minute just to let you know exactly what I've done, and I'm going to show you it working in just a second. But first of all then, just to make this a bit more of a review really, some words on the Hornby turntables. Now, straight out of the box, a lot of issues with mine. I've had two of them, and so it's this one and the one I sent back, and both were basically dysfunctional out of the box. Now, I know they're not all like that, because people wrote in during the last turntable video and said that theirs worked fine. But I had two major problems with this, which you might have too, based on my probability. The first thing was the gears. Well, it's not the most important thing, but the gears inside the little red gearboxy place. They were coated in this very, very thick, gloopy lubricant, and the viscosity of that was so much that it was just clogging the whole thing up and slowing the motor down and putting it under unnecessary stress. So what I did was I took all the gears out and cleaned all that horrible nasty stuff off them and put my own grease on. But while I did that, when all the gears were out, I found that I could turn the turntable by hand. So what I did, this was while the copper, sorry, I think they're brass, aren't they? The brass contacts, the pieces here which connect to the tracks, while they were still on, I decided I'd just turn the turntable by hand just to see if there was a lot of resistance coming from those. And with not all of them, but some of them, so I think it was this one was a bad one, when it reached this track, it came to a total stop. The little contacts touched the bottom of these tracks and came to a total stop. Now, you had to put an awful lot of force onto the turntable to get it to turn and to get those contacts to slide underneath the track. Now, it was a lot of force for my hands, and I didn't like putting that kind of force onto it. And so if you imagine the kind of force that must be going through those gears and through that motor, it's not good, is it? You really, I mean, it's a ticking time bomb, isn't it, basically? Something's going to go. If the motor doesn't burn out, the gears are going to wear out very, very quickly, or even break, like my first one did. So, yeah, I'm not saying they're all like it, but both of the ones I had serious issues. And yeah, those contacts are not the way to go. So Barry Davis, I'm just going to mention him right now. He is the man. He had this idea, and what I'm going to tell you now is all his idea. I don't take any credit for it, and in fact I'm not even going to show you exactly how I did it, because his video is so good and so thorough. There is literally nothing I could add to it by making a video of my own. So check out Barry Davis's channel if you want to see how I did this. Now this is a 6-way rotary switch. Now I think Barry's rotary switch was better than mine, because I bought a 2-pole 6-way rotary switch, which means it has 12 outputs because it's 2 poles. I'm only using 6 of them, but and as you can see I put labels on all of these. But essentially what I did was I ripped out the copper contacts and wired each track up independently so that you can select them via this rotary switch, which as you can see you can alter like that. So now you do have to set the turntable manually, which is a little bit of a drawback, but on the other hand it is still an automated turntable which seems to work, and now that I've put my own grease on the gears and got rid of those awful contacts, it is actually a lot better. So finally then, let's get this thing running, let's get it tested, and let's get an engine onto it. So I'm going to get a nice tank engine and get it onto there and demonstrate it for you, so let's do that. Well, okay then, here comes the L1 onto the turntable. Not tried her with it yet, and I seem to think it works a little bit better, not noticeably, but I assume it will work better if the loco's in the middle like that. Okay, so let's start it turning. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Let's go all the way around. And now that those contacts have gone, by the way, it doesn't grind to a halt so much round the back end. It does slow down still, and I'm interested to know why. As you can see, that's not perfect, is it? But it does get beyond it. And I'm going to stop it there. Okay, and so all you have to do with my system, I know Barry's works slightly differently, but you just count clockwise from the power track. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with the rotary switch, with it set to 0, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm actually going to build a controller which has those numbers written around this, and I'm going to put a needle on it so that you can see where you're pointing to. But now, well, I don't know if these wires are going to be in the way, but now that I've set that to number 5, this track should now be linked up to the incoming power track. Move those out of the way. So I'm going to be embarrassed if this doesn't work, but it should, because it was doing earlier. So I need to set it that way. And as you can see, the loco is now powered, and that is very, very good. Oops. You know what's happened? Because I haven't supported the track, the loco is wheel slipping now. If I push it back up, as you can see, the driving wheels have lifted up off the track, but it is powered, believe me. Okay, stop it there then. Keep the turntable going then a little bit further. Okay, and forward she goes then. Perfect, look at that. Okay, so it's working. And if you have one of these and you're worried about it in any way, if it doesn't seem to work, don't wait until the gears break. Don't wait until it jams up and destroys itself. Do this. It's not difficult. The difficult part was disguising all the wires. As you can see, there's all sorts of wiring which are disguised inside here, and it all comes out in this big wad here, and it's still completely flush with the carpet, and I could still take it out and move it right now. But anyway, I'm not going to do any more in this video. The next time you see this will be in a video, and I've filmed a lot of videos, so it might be a few weeks before you see it again. But by the time you do, I hope to have got the wires tidied up. I'll solder it in now, and I will also put the buffer stops on. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Hattons for sorting this out for me. Obviously now it's totally not their responsibility now that I've cannibalised it, but it is working now, and for how long, I don't know. How reliable that mechanism is, I don't know, but it is working, and it wasn't before. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Just a bonus today, and I'll see you on Saturday, where I'm going to be showing some of your requests. Alright folks, see you next time.